Howdy, folks. It's Rob here. We are approaching the end of Act 2 of Dark Nexus now, and we're so happy to be sharing this final run of episodes in Thrushmore with you. Before we get rolling here, we'll be doing another Q&A episode after Act 2 wraps up next month. But if you have any questions for us that you'd like to hear included in the conversation, start sending those our way. Hit us up on the socials or at info@darknexuspodcast.com. Welcome back to Dark Nexus. Tonight, Act 2, Chapter 85. Right now, it is the 9th of Neth. We're in the bridge between afternoon and evening of this particular day here. Dabs has prepared their spells. Dora has done her psychometry for the day. And off mic, we had a little conversation about which of the sort of remaining dangers in town the party might want to attempt to tackle in the early part of the evening here. What did you all land on?
We landed on the Wailing House in Daria because we felt it was the most, the thing we wanted to be the most immediately prepared for, like at our highest level of preparation.
Yes, peak preparation.
Yeah. And we feel like we can tell them not to go into the basement of Fort Hailcourse, and the other elder things, which it feels weird to call them, just those elder things underneath the stables are likely still waking up from hibernation. Yeah. So we feel like we have a little bit of time. But Daria feels very dangerous, present. Yeah. And we want to be full.
And we know she's been an ongoing concern in this town for like 12, 13 years.
Yeah.
So we ended last time with this little glimpse into some of the past life of this rapier. And I'm always fascinated in the alternate versions of this campaign based on the order in which you all did psychometry. Like if we'd never did Grip's badge until this point and we had done this rapier like back in chapter 6 or something like that, Johnny would have had a very different sense of, he wouldn't have had any clarity, but he would have had a very different sense of some of his character's previous life.
You've had that written for how long?
Gosh, probably 4 years at this point. I mean, I have changed it with little bits as time has gone along, but the core of that was one of the first things that I wrote after the day we did the badge, and I was like, oh, I should write these down, so I have these. Oh no, it was after the violin where I was like, I have to write these down, not just make notes for myself.
So we already had the name Gavroni Stoicha when you originally wrote it?
Yes.
Wow.
It's so crazy.
And you already had Victor?
Yes. However, at the point in time where I wrote this, it was going to be Remus.
Because he's a werewolf.
I've changed. I've been changing some of the names in the background as we go along before I finally landed on Victor. But I landed on Victor before we got to the end of book 1.
Yeah. Crazy.
So we heard the story about Gavroni Stoicha, your character's uncle, and this combat in the mists with his friends Nicholas and Mej as they were taking down a particular wagon train and using this weapon, Heartsbane, for the very, very first time. And then we heard a story about you when you were thinking of yourself and calling yourself Roni, digging this weapon out of the earth, presumably after the scene on the docks, sometime between the scene on the docks and when we started this campaign. How is Vic processing that particular information at this time?
Nothing super new. I mean, it feels like information. It feels like a verification of information that we've already had, but also trying to figure out why he thought that he was Roni Stoicha. Like, where was the break? Where did he become Roni?
Why did he start calling himself that?
Yeah.
And Dora wouldn't be thinking in that vision of that he thought of himself as Gavroni Stoicha, but that was a name he took. That was a name and an identity that he took upon himself.
A mantle that he put on himself.
Yes, and I think we can think of that scene from the docks with that first confrontation with Vaticus, as Vaticus was drugging him and he was trying to claim these different names and flashing all the way back to that first encounter with the stranger, with Wherein. This is probably somebody that he really looked up to and admired and saw.
He seems like he's strong and tough enough to take you on.
Exactly. If I can turn myself...
If I can be like him, then I can beat you.
Yes, exactly. And you know that he was wearing a bright orange scarf that would feature prominently in both
One of my
those
dreams, too.
And give me a knowledge local check.
Excellent. I shall do so. 13. Wow, that's about as low as I can roll on that. That's pretty bad.
This is a 10.
So I barely know it.
You know that Verizians, sort of culturally, they favor wearing brightly colored scarves of all sizes and colors, but there are some that hold very special significance. There's a family scarf, or a capenia. Think of it sort of like, kind of in the veins of like a Scottish tartan. But for Verizians, wearing these scarves is one way to show family trees. And Verizians also believe that certain colors carry specific powers, and they will often choose their outfits to attract the right type of energy that they're seeking to attract. That pink is typically associated with love, kindness, and courage. Red with lust, long life, inner strength. Turquoise, like physical strength, non-verbal communication. And that orange is most commonly linked with, on one side of the coin, happiness. On a different side of the coin, ingenuity. And that the Scarny in particular will often wear a splash of orange to help assure success in complicated or risky endeavors. That little flash of what your uncle was doing there was obviously a belief system that he held and that he held too. We saw Roni put that scarf on a little bit to remember him, but of course that is not his, and maybe it wasn't the particular kind of energy he was needing to attract at that particular moment. And he also, we heard a little bit in there about he wanted to make his own. He wanted to create his own at some point. But tonight, we're talking about taking on Daria Vaticus. As the group is gathering back up in the fort in the lead up to your foray out, in terms of what else is going on in town today on the 9th, the Sleepless Agency folks have put together and are organizing a search party to search for these missing dwarven families. Is there anybody we're associated with who doesn't have another activity who might participate in that?
Bates would 100%
right. Yes,
want to
Great.
assist with that.
Because he's kind of clinging to them now, right? Like he is hanging out with them, and
also he's got a really great survival, so he's pretty good at tracking.
Yes, Ozzy's very good at tracking too, I'm pretty sure, so she can join in that.
Do you want to join in that?
Yeah.
I love it. There's a big cleanup being organized for the stain that Dina Galagos is putting together, and I picture a lot of the folks, a lot of the Act 1 chapel survivors participating in that. And also, Toli Remseta is helping to organize a cleanup of the new chapel. Him and his friend Gurn and old Two Bits are working on gathering folks who might be interested in what will be a big project.
Barnabas would help out. I mean, I don't have a set thing, but wherever he would try to make himself useful and not just sit around.
Victor would definitely sidle up to Denman.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Denman, I remember that you're a cook, right?
Yeah.
Well,
he's giving you some side eye because he really doesn't understand the continuous changes in personality.
And I see that.
Yeah.
And I go, come on, you worked in a mental institution. You must be used to this sort of thing by now.
Yeah, man. I mean, no judgment, but very little understanding.
That's okay. I appreciate that.
All right, so what, you want to talk about me cooking?
Yeah.
Do you need me to make you dinner?
No.
He's in the kitchen in the fort right now because he is in charge of. He's taken that upon himself during your absence.
I wanted to say, like, the meal that we had last night was really great.
Yeah, it's right.
It was really great.
It was.
And I thought to myself, this guy, what he really likes is he likes helping people. He likes helping people feel good. And like a good meal and people gathering around makes him feel good, makes him feel useful, part of the world.
Oh, you're seeing these brows like furrow? He and I immediately wanted to say, "You don't know what you're talking about!" But as you got further in that sentence, this is making some sense to him. Because really, like, he actually did provide comfort for all of these people in a way that he has not been able to forever, right? Like, he had no crossover with the people that were eating his food back at work, and his work life was contentious anyways, and this was a simple act of comfort he was able to provide.
What was the thing with his sister? Didn't he have
You send money home to your sister.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see you. I see what you're trying to do here.
Shit, man.
Nobody asked you to do this. You just stepped up, right?
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess I did.
And I know they're going off to clean up, like, the stain, right?
Yeah?
Now, a guy who wanted to find a place in the world where he could make a difference. Maybe the stain reopens. Maybe it's like a restaurant, not just a dive bar, but a place where everybody in the city could congregate.
Could there be drinks too?
Why not? An enterprising fellow like yourself, I could see how he could really kind of shine there.
Yeah.
Denman's Den.
Oh. Wow.
Or, maybe
never.
Mother's. But if a guy was going to do that, he'd want to get in on the ground floor and make sure that he was over there helping. Maybe
Yeah.
helping all those people eat.
Yeah, he would, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Hey, Maeve, go wash your hands. Come over here. Help with this. I got somewhere I gotta be.
Yes, chef.
Cooking is boring.
And I also wanted to thank you when you talked to me about our heritage. I didn't understand, and I had a memory about my uncle's scarf, and it just made me think of you. I got an idea for a tattoo.
Oh, you do?
I do, and I was wondering maybe sometime you might help me with that.
Well, I'll be over at the stain.
Okay,
You come find me, I'll give you a hand with your tattoo.
I really appreciate that.
Yeah, thanks, man. You've clearly given him a lot to think about. This had never been his vision for himself. He's processing. And then do we walk down Market Street to the Wailing House
Let's do it.
Absolutely.
Well, should we do this lesser restoration all the way around?
to preemptively get rid of some sanity damage?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds great.
I could actually, I Dabwick's at 6. I could use, I've got 4 castings of it, so I don't necessarily.
You do it however you want to do it.
5 with the Pearl of Power,
5 with the Pearl.
which is
Power.
not going to be anything else today because you re-prepare a spell that you already had prepared, right?
So 2 for each of you and 1 for you. 2. I'm sorry.
No, 1 for each of us and then 1 extra.
All right.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Roll it up. Let's roll for Dora.
1 and 2 is 1. 3 and 4 is 2.
Great. Here's for Dora.
4.
Yay!
That's a 2.
Dora's down to 11. For Gripper.
2. That's 1 point.
Gripper's down to 9. For Victor.
Oh, hey, what are you doing?
Oh shit.
I got to make a will check on that. See if I can accept that.
Yeah, let's not do 2 on.
Let's see if this happens.
I'm going to let the die lay where it was
Yeah.
before I picked it up. Because it was a good roll.
Give me a will save there, Johnny.
That's a 10.
Okay. Frustratingly, this has no effect as Victor is... This face that Johnny's making. Why are you touching me? What's going on?
In my head, it's like you're going bip bop bop on us, and like I didn't see it, and then all of a sudden you're like, "What are you doing, man?"
Yeah. You can tell Victor's not having it today.
As the spell dissipates harmlessly into the air.
And Dabwick's shoulders just drop.
Yes. You got this, Dabs.
Use the pearl. Use the pearl. Get it back.
For myself?
Yep.
3. So that's 2 points.
Down to 4.
Nice.
And then one more you got?
Yep. Dora. 1.
Thank you.
Dora's down to 10.
Hey,
No longer winning.
you helping everybody?
I'm trying. That's what I do.
Why didn't you let me know?
You cannot win.
I'm just trying to play the character, man.
It's perfect.
I'm just trying.
And the frustration Paul feels is surely just Dabwick's frustration.
Just trying to play the madness that I've been dealt.
It's all right. I mean, it's your bloody madness, mate. It's not my madness. It's your madness.
Are you using the term madness
are
to
you?
him? Is Dab saying that?
What did you say?
I'm sorry, mate. Never mind. I'm just trying to help. You know, I'm just trying to help.
Yeah.
We got something to do, right?
Yeah, we got something to do, all right. As we're walking down there, I sidle up next to Dora. Hey, Dora, I'm a little worried about Dabs. You know how you used to have that little problem with the fox?
Reynard, yes.
Yeah. Get this. Dabs thinks I have some kind of problem.
Really?
Yeah. You don't think that, do you?
Well, I think we've all been through a great deal. And that anything is possible.
You don't have to roll a bluff check for that.
That was good.
Yeah.
Diplomacy.
Why don't you just roll, see what the dice say, and if it's a natural one, we can roll for initiative.
It's not.
Okay. All right.
22.
Yeah. No, we've been all been under a lot of stuff lately.
So certainly, it's worth exploring.
Yeah.
For all of us, really.
Yeah. So we just got to keep our eye on the main focus here.
I mean, Grip has such trouble with
He
edged
does.
weapons, right?
He does.
Yeah.
He does.
So
But
Grip marching ahead of the rest of the
stay
group.
focused on
Yeah,
the
did he hear
Vaticus
any of this?
and not Dabwick.
What do you think? Do you think he did?
If he did, he's shaking his head, and he knows it's not in his control, but he's frustrated. He's like, all he wants to say,
Yeah.
they've done nothing but try to fucking help you ever since they've started, and you've done nothing but fight it the fucking way. Yes, I think there's something the fucking wrong with you.
God.
And then he just keeps walking.
Oh, wow.
I think I got to make a sense motive check on him.
All right. Yeah, give me a sense motive check there, Johnny.
11.
Ah, shit.
Fucking dice.
All right. I hear you. Good to know.
Grip reaches the blown out, shattered fence at the edge of the Wailing House. This is a very different look to the place than the last time you saw it. The fence was intact before. Now it is indeed shattered and exploded out. We know there was a great deal of confusion about when exactly in time this happened because Dora has one sense of memory and Dora knows that actually didn't happen, but you can probably start to put together that the moment that Ray came to inhabit this house, there may have been a shocking burst of explosive energy that did open the space to the surrounding community. Also, looking up at the dilapidated 3-story, fairly large mansion, it feels alive. There's a little shimmer in the air. You see flashes of what seems like movement in the second floor. Oh, no, up on the top floor. Oh, no, is there something moving around on the first floor? Flashes of light that seem to be popping around the space, and it gets palpably colder and colder the closer you approach.
This place, I'll say it one more time, reminds me so much of the house on Niebolt Street from It, which was a section of that book that terrified me the first time I read it. I feel that same feeling every time we approach the Wailing House.
Excellent.
Which I approached alone
Yes.
last time.
So, as we stand outside this place and contemplate heading in to tackle Ray's dead sister, I know there was discussion of some buff spells. What are we casting before we head in?
Mage armor.
Great,
Shield.
got it.
Life shield.
Oh, remind me how that works.
So life shield is you surround yourself with positive energy that damages undead opponents. Each time an undead creature damages you with a melee attack, that creature takes an amount of positive energy damage equal to half the damage it dealt you.
Oh,
Wow.
Boom.
oh, you cast this in the vampire fight, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, I remember now.
And what time is it now? Is it darkness?
We can say it is not full dark, but it's edging on. It's on the cusp.
Dark vision and
Great.
also see invisibility.
Oh, yes. I will use my new robe
Your mnemonic vestment?
to cast see invisibility from the scroll that we have.
How do you envision this
Oh, it's
working?
so cool. So, got the robes on. I don't know, I'm making this up as I go. So,
Yeah.
got the robes on, pull the scroll out, read it. It's covered in like runes and stuff.
It is.
I feel like the runes all illuminate, with, like, not illuminate, but they get inky. Like I'm literally taking the ink from the page, borrowing the ink from the page into the vestments.
You see the
Then
runes actually move
Yeah.
and take on a different shape, a different
Then I
configuration.
cast the spell,
Yeah.
and the scroll, all that fades, and it goes right back into the scroll, which is exactly as it was before, only now I can see invisible as I tuck the scroll back into my bag.
That's so cool. This is going to be a huge boon for the
That's
party.
so awesome.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
Okay, so see invisibility. Polly, is Dabs taking a form with dark vision?
Dabs will be a Gripply.
Great.
In the small.
Very
Is
good.
when does the bolt strength happen? I forget what the duration of that is.
So we can do this right before going in. This duration is 1 minute per level.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
6 minutes
Cool.
plus 4 enhancement.
So Dabs lays hands on Grip, and you see this colossal form get even bigger and bigger and bigger as his strength score goes up by 4.
He just looks. He looks at Roni and goes, "Oh, that feels fucking good. Thank you for your help."
My pleasure, mate.
just driving it in. Anything else before we head on in? Okay. What's the approach? Who's going in first?
I slip on the cap of human guise.
You
and
slip on the cap of human guise. Tell me about this plan.
I slip on the cap of human guise,
Uh-huh.
looking like a young Thrushmore urchin,
Ooh.
and looking over my shoulder at Dora, give her a nod, and then kind of creep up to the place as if I'm a kid who's on a dare.
So you're going to attempt to lure...
I am the stalking horse.
Fascinating. Okay. And then the other 3 of you... Should I picture you then, like, right outside the front door, as close as possible without being
Without
in...
being completely visible.
Yeah,
for
like not
everything we've done. Yeah.
trying to be not in the doorway, but kind of flanking.
Let me take you to a map here.
Go.
Johnny, why don't you go ahead and open that door? Victor, as a...
Small human child.
in the illusionary form of a small human child, a waif of Thrushmore, opens the front door to a long, moldering antechamber here. There are support pillars on the east and west walls that are crumbling. The ceiling above is sort of half caved in, and there is the remnants of a once fine red rug that is just a disgusting, foul, rotted out, insect-chewed, moldery mess. Looking up ahead into the next room, you see this large great room that you'd had described to you by Dora when she did psychometry. It's about 100 feet across, 70 or 80 feet deep, and just even from your vision there, about 20 feet away from it, you can see smashed, rotted out tables, old bookshelves filled with the remnants of books. And there is just a crackles of faint light, occasionally flickering through the air as though the air itself is somehow mildly electrically charged. And it's also simultaneously getting colder by degrees with each step that Victor takes into this space. It is cold and creepy and not as dark as you might expect because of the random flashes of supernatural light that are cascading through the place. Give me a perception check.
I also want to say, in his hand, he has a small bottle, and he's looking like he's kind of taking sips from it, like it's something that he as a kid shouldn't have.
Oh, it's his own fun juice.
It's his own fun juice and stuff.
Yeah.
And as he's going, he's whistling that snippet of the fairy tale poem song that we had from so long ago. Down to the dun, down to the dun, down to the da da da
Down to the ocean to die.
Yeah.
Oh! Give me a perception check.
All right. That is a 22.
You hear a creepy little child giggle from somewhere way across, probably this floor. It's maybe 100 feet or so to the north on this map, maybe across the great room. And can you see this doorway here?
Yes.
Probably through there into the next room. Very, very distant, hollow little girl giggle. And then you hear a very faint echo of the whistling that you just did.
I'll stop.
Yeah.
Like, did I just hear that kind of thing? Like a kid who's like, or is that just an echo?
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, obviously stop and kind of listen and be like, hello?
I'm so scared.
You're not going to scare me.
Hi.
I'm going to whistle back. And I'll start to move a little bit forward.
Okay. Why don't you move yourself up to the edge of that entryway there? As Victor, as small child, holding his fun juice, bravely entering the Wailing House, looking across this vast, shattered, moldering, great room, Victor easily sees the invisible form of a little dead 4-year-old girl with pale, bloodless, metallic skin, just hollow, shadowy pits for eyes, filthy, lank hair, wearing this like old baby doll dress and a rotting crown of flowers, crawling across the ceiling invisibly like a spider. And as she's going, she of course has no hands, so she's shoving the razor-sharp, stone-hard, jagged ends of her arm stumps into the ceiling to help her move across. Here's some art for y'all.
No.
Here's some art.
Oh.
No! Oh, God.
Oh, boy.
I don't need to look at that. No, thank you.
So she's emerging from this room to the north, probably about like 60 feet away from you or something like that.
Okay.
And do you see her on the map now? Is she visible?
I do.
Okay. So she comes out through the top of the door frame and is now clinging to the ceiling, staring down at you, certain that you cannot see her. She chuckles a little bit, and you hear that sound. Have you come to play?
Yeah. Hide and seek?
She spiders across the ceiling about 20 feet forward. Hide and seek is fun.
It is fun.
What's your name?
Vic?
What the fuck did you say to me?
And I literally, like, go still.
What did you say to me?
And start kind of freaking out a little bit, like a little kid freaking out.
Yeah.
It's like,
Give me a bluff check.
I don't know that I want to play. 24.
All right, she's buying it. She's buying it. Are you hanging still or are you moving anywhere?
I think doing the frozen with fear thing.
Oh, deer in the headlights. Yeah.
Deer in the headlights, kind of a little like but like looking around, like, you know, I don't see where you are, obviously.
She's now 10 feet away from you laterally, up on the ceiling. It's called the ceiling. It was a big room. It's probably 15 feet up. She's staring down at you now with these dead, hollow, shadowy... Like, she has eyeballs somewhere in the shadows in there, but they're very hard to see because she's just cloaked in this aura of gloom and misery. And as she gets to that spot, she cracks her neck and is now staring down at you with a head slightly disjointed in a way that looks like it shouldn't, like a living, in a way a living person could not do.
Like a broken neck.
A little like a broken neck. And Victor feels a palpable wave of abject misery cascade through his body, and suddenly he is drowning in the sensation that he is useless, his life is useless, every one of his efforts are doomed to fail. Nobody loves him, nobody will ever love him. He is incapable of love, he is incapable of accomplishing anything, and all that there is for him and for everyone else in this world is endless despair and misery. Give me a will save.
How'd I know that was coming?
Yep.
Get.
What'd you get?
I got a 14, but you know what? I've spent no inspiration points. So I got a whole bunch right now. You know what I'm going to spend some of them on?
This?
This. So that is a 19.
Victor starts to lose any sense of who he is, why he's here, what's happening, or that he even could possibly have a reason to be here, and is able to, thanks to his inspiration, shrug this feeling off.
And knowing what this thing is, would I have any idea what that was? Like, am I able to make a knowledge check of...
You would assume this is part of, because you were the one that made the check before about her sorrow discipline, you would assume that this is probably some discipline power that she has.
And based off of how it was making me, like, what did I want to do before I stopped doing it?
Oh, you would expect it would probably impart a confusion effect. That's what you were feeling.
Okay, so then confusion is either like...
Attack
do
yourself,
nothing,
do
attack
nothing,
yourself,
babble.
do nothing.
Yeah.
I will start to babble. I will start singing that song.
Excellent.
I guess can we make a sense motive check or something to figure out what's going on in there and whether we should come in, since we completely failed to determine a signal or any other means of knowing when we should enter the house?
Yeah, I buy that. Go ahead and roll.
Boy, natural one.
Okay.
11.
22 sense motive check.
I rolled a 13 for a 13 sense motive.
Nice job.
So, three of you tell me what happens here. I think Dora would be feeling extreme concern that Victor has succumbed to one of this creature's abilities. Dabs is not so sure. Maybe Dabs, because Dabs has been used to keeping an eye on Victor through all this, and can just detect a little whisper of, he might still got it, but...
The hat that he's using was mine.
Yeah.
And so understanding the subtleties of how to read a person's body language while under this polymorph might fit.
Okay.
So he's got this.
Daria,
I certainly trust Dablik, so.
across the ceiling, and then drops to the floor in this total superhero landing pose with a broken neck and no hands. She's right next to you.
And I'm still doing my do. And then as I'm sort of doing that, my eyes just pass her once as I make her my steady combatant. And then as she's right there, I'm going to smash her with the bottle.
All right, give me your bluff check on this behavior. If she
Holy
beats your
water,
sense,
is that the idea?
Yep.
the holy water,
Yeah.
awesome. Give me your bluff check. Let me see how good she's able to sense. Oh. I think you got her, Johnny.
Don't say that out loud. Oh, I think I do. That's a natural 20 for a 26.
Oh, sweet.
That's with my bluff decreased from my paranoia.
I said I think you got her before I looked at what her bonus is. So I rolled a 2 on the die. Her bonus is 21.
Oh my
But
god!
you still beat her. So she is like with the lust of an animal who is hungry and senses prey and knows this is my food. She drops her guard. She totally buys the act. She does this every day and it always works. And she falls for it as Victor smashes holy water against her. Is that the plan?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Give me a touch attack, a melee touch attack.
All right. Let's see.
This would normally provoke an attack of opportunity, but she is flat-footed because she does not see this coming.
It's a melee touch attack, but it's with an improvised weapon. Does that count?
It does.
So then 24.
You smash the vial of holy water right into her chest, soaking her baby doll dress and burning her flesh as she screams in agony, taking how much damage?
9 points of damage.
9 points of...
Actually,
You gonna blow it?
Yes, you should.
for another 13 points of damage.
Because this may be the one shot you've got to do damage. 13 points of positive energy damage as
Wow.
she is just soaked in holy water. She is briefly on fire, screaming in agony. Everybody roll initiative.
Can I get my signature skill? Can I try that on this?
You may.
Damn. It was a natural one on Dablik.
Oh, so what's your total there, Dabs?
4.
And Dora.
I got a 10 and a 17 sense motive against either 11 plus her bluff modifier or 15, whichever is higher.
Yeah, no way.
Yeah.
So your total's 10.
Yep.
And Gripper.
22.
Nice. Victor.
13.
All right. Top of round 1, Grip right outside the door on the porch, probably about 40 feet or so away from this combat happening in the very entryway to the Great Hall of the Wailing House. Here's the bottle smash. Here's the dead child scream in agony. What does he do?
He'll start with a 5-foot step to look into the room.
Get some sight on
See what he
this.
sees.
Yeah.
You said she was briefly on fire. Is that like does that holy water make her visible to me for a round, or was that flavor?
That's flavor.
I'd prefer if you could see.
Oh, hang on.
Yeah, did her sorrow attack make her
Her sorrow
visible?
attack made her visible. She's visible. You can see her.
Cool. Jaw goes slack, eyes roll in the back of his head. He does the double crack of his neck
Double crack.
to take the move, to use a move action to take dedicated adversary.
Ooh, tell us about this.
When you select this feat, choose a specific kind of creature. Is just undead, or do I need to pick this specific creature
Does it say type?
It says
it's a
specific
specific
kind of creature.
Oh yeah, you gotta pick Vitala then.
So I will pick Vitala. When you pick this feat, choose a specific kind of creature. You gain the Ranger's favored enemy class ability against this particular type of creature.
Excellent.
With a bonus of +2. For our purposes, it'll be a +2 on attack and damage. There's some other things that may or may not come in.
You're not gonna attempt to bluff her? Grip?
Nah, probably not. So he's taking that, which will give him another +2 on both of those, and then also weapon specialization, unarmed strike, and then he'll move in.
Oh, you took a 5-foot step.
I did take a 5-foot step.
Oh, you can.
Well, can I include that in my
Yes.
30 feet? Because
Yes.
that was just to get the lay of the land. So
100%.
5, 10, 15, 20. And that's his turn.
Ending up about 15 feet away from Victor, and Daria is on the other side of him. Very good. Daria is up. Daria is staring with rage at Victor. Cocks her head in another broken too far fashion to look past Victor's left shoulder to see Grip approaching. Smiles. Hello, Riptas. And then attempts to stab her 2 arm stumps into Victor's gut. Here we go. Jagged arm stump 1. 23.
Just hits.
Deep in your gut for 7 points of damage, and you feel her despair seeping into you and locking up every single one of your muscles. Give me a will save.
20.
Keeping it?
Yep.
You are not paralyzed. Second arm stump. It's a miss. 14.
Miss.
Okay, survived the first round. You do notice, as this is happening, some of the burnt flesh on her body underneath her baby doll dress is knitting itself together, and she seems to be visibly fast healing. All right, Victor, having survived your first brush with Daria as she rips her jagged arm stump out of your gut, you are up.
I am going to take a 5-foot step backwards. And I am going to spend another point to make her my study target. Mm-hmm. And as I take that 5-foot step back, I will pull out my alchemical torch and I will fire at her.
As she sees the alchemical torch coming up, she gives you this huge grin as an immediate action. And you feel your mind flooded with doubts and insecurity. Take a -1 on this attack roll.
No save on that.
No save.
Oh, that's still a 25.
As you have narrowed your eyes at her, she seems to have also somehow narrowed her eyes in understanding at you. And as that wave of insecurity and doubt flashes through her, you see, in just like a scant frozen moment, her smile with broken little teeth as she steps out of the way of the bullet. It's a miss.
A 25 touch attack misses?
Correct.
Oh my god.
That's a problem.
Give me an Arcana check.
That's a 25.
You would assess her as she began this combat, slipped into perhaps a style, a martial style. Maybe she had a. Maybe she
I know
used,
what this style is.
Maybe she
That's
used
dirty
her
pool.
her one snake style for the day.
Oh, no, not
So
for the
that
day,
is
for the
cheating.
round.
For the round.
That's really,
for the round.
So we're still cheating.
It's all cheating.
Yeah.
It's all cheating.
I just want to. I mean, can we cheat?
No.
Oh.
Dora, you're up. You're on the outside here. You heard the alchemical torch go off. You heard
Yeah.
Daria screaming.
5.
You know what, though? That was the best use of, because the likelihood of me having damaged her, really low.
And now
So the
she
fact-
can't use it until next
no,
round.
she can't use it till next round.
Yep.
That's pretty useful.
10.
Dora moves into view in the open doorway and into the front hall, staring down the way at this dead girl.
Oh, also reload as a free action.
Very good.
Thank you.
Also knowing that Tima is staring through her eyes
Yeah.
at her dead daughter. Upon seeing you, Daria visibly shakes with anger.
Yeah. Dora summons cruelty as an emotion, and rather than having this feeling of enjoying it, it's regretful. I don't want to have to do this, but I have no choice, and this is the emotion that I have to summon to cast this spell. And she, using 2 points from her Phrenic pool, makes Daria vulnerable to her Mind Thrust and casts that spell.
Here we go.
I'm sorry, this is Mind Thrust 2.
28.
So that's a save. So it's half of 28.
Oh.
14 points.
Still 14 points of damage. All this terrible black ichor starts dripping and leaking out of her ears and nose, and you hear this, like from behind a veil, shoo, 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 Dora, no! In Ray's voice.
Oh my god.
Dabwick.
Dabwick will step around the corner and come into the room and cast Snowball.
Snowball. So this literally summons a supernaturally charged ball of ice and snow, is that right?
That's right.
And it's a ranged touch attack?
It's a ranged touch attack.
Okay, so you got a bunch of bodies between you and her, if that's where you want to end your move. You're going to have minus... she'll have cover if you end there. If you can get further, like maybe...
Here? Yes, I can get there.
So moving in next to Grip and hurling a druid snowball.
Druid Snowball. Ooh, no. 17 touch attack.
Hit.
Curiouser and curious.
She doesn't have the snake style this time. 5d6 cold damage coming at her.
15 points.
Very good. She does have a small bit of cold resistance, we know. You would guess she probably takes around 10 points of that, but the hits are coming. She is taking a lot of damage this turn, and as that snowball smashes into Daria, you hear, Dora, no! Again, as the ghost of Braden Vaticus materializes from the ethereal plane, sliding flash dance style across the floor as you see an exact echo of the moment you all thought that Dora died in the chapel. He is recreating that moment, his hands outstretched as he comes into view, finishing his slide across the floor right next to Daria, and then you see him clench his entire body together, and then you see Daria spin her head around, smile wickedly. Whatever link has been just established between them, this was completely unexpected to her. And as you see this translucent form of Braden, like an echo of this moment from however many chapters ago, he barely seems aware of his surroundings. He only sees her. And as he's saying this name, it's hard to tell, is he saying Dora? Is he saying Daria? It sounds like the exact same name.
What the?
There's Braden. Damn. 5 feet away from Daria on the other side, holding those hands out, just like I can still picture Paul demonstrating like 3 years ago when we played that session. And that's the end of round 1.
He's Braden's hands are being held out towards Daria.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Top of round 2, Grip, you are up. You are seeing a flashback of Braden from his former life happening right in front of you. You're about 15 feet away. Oh, now 10 feet away from Victor because he took a step back, and 20 feet or so away from Daria. But now Braden's very close to Daria.
Part of me wants to just wait and see what she does next, but that's probably stupid. So I'm gonna charge. I'm gonna charge there and attack.
Charging right past Victor's shoulder.
Charging with my fist. It's a plus 2 for the charge.
Correct.
So that's a plus 18 for this attack.
Oh, God.
a 16 on the die for a, what does that make it, a 34?
You punch the child in her
Excellent.
face.
That's all I came here to do. And then, so that's going to be 1d8 plus 9. So that's 13 points of damage, which I guess she takes 3.
Exactly. Because your fists are not magical good weapons. This enormous blow that you all see from this supernaturally buff suddenly grip smashes into her, and she takes just a scant bit of damage. But you do manage to damage her. Daria's up. She heals. She's now engaged in combat with Grip. She takes a step back, almost exactly echoing the cautious step that Victor just took to back away from her. She takes one step back, and then suddenly, in the front hall, behind you, Grip, there is another Daria. This is what looks to be like a 17-year-old Daria. Perfect health, vibrant, alive, looks eerily similar to how you might imagine a young Dora looking. She's all kitted up in adventuring gear, and she materializes there, stares around, stares down at herself, looks over your shoulder, Grip, at the dead version of her. What have you done to me? What have you done to me? She draws a short sword, and she stands in a combat pose right behind Grip. Victor, you're up. You're 10 feet away from this 17-year-old Daria, who is now threatening Grip.
She's still my studied target. It didn't blow my thing. I'm going to fire again at her. At the young, damaged child one. Not the one that's over her shoulder. Am I able to make any kind of spellcraft check?
Give me a check. Let's see what you know.
24.
Victor knows what just happened. She cast a spell called Ally Across Time,
I thought it was.
Wow.
which creates temporal possibility overlaps and just pulled a different version of herself from a parallel universe to help her in this fight. Now you know that this alternate version is real. She is there. She exists. She's not an illusion. She can threaten and she can help with aiding other, but you know she's not going to be able to actually take any attacks regardless of how threatening she appears to seem against Grip at the moment.
Can she die here?
Yes. She has hit points.
If she takes a hit point damage, does Daria take hit point damage?
No.
Grip, she's a flanker. Ignore her.
And then you shoot the original?
And then I shoot the original. That's a natural 1.
Oh, no.
That's a misfire.
Oh, Johnny. It's been so long. So what happens now? The gun is damaged? Is that right?
Let me look. It's been I don't even remember the last time this happened.
Happened, I think, once in book 1?
It's you and me, Debs.
Johnny, why don't you look that up and let's see
Yep.
what Dora does while you're learning about what happened to your pistol. Dora, you now see 2 different possible versions of who inside your head you're thinking of as your daughter, because now Tima's thoughts are just battering against the wall of your oubliette.
I am resisting that. I'm not going to make her kill Daria, and I'm not going to risk that she won't kill Daria. So either way, whatever control I would have or not have, which is I think kind of unknown, and I'll cast another Mind Thrust too. She's just striding forward, calm, which belies the raging hellfire that's happening inside of her right now.
Yeah.
It feels almost like the more agitated Tima Dora is asserting who is in charge right now.
This is a display of dominance.
Yes.
That doesn't feel great to your friend on the inside, as you can imagine.
But she's not my friend.
I know.
She is somebody I have to live with. Right, but sometimes it's tempting to think of her as a partner or a friend because she has useful skills.
Yeah.
And it is actually harmful to think of her as a partner and a friend and to trust her and to do anything, because I learned that she was willing to risk Dabwick. It ended up not mattering. But I know that time she was about to scream out that name if I failed to get control.
Yeah.
So this is Dora asserting control and not letting her out in the first place.
Awesome. All right, so you're spending 2 points from your Phoenix pool.
Yes.
And I'm making a will save.
Yes.
Whoa. 31. She
takes 11 points.
takes all of it. More black ichor jetting out of her nose and mouth. Johnny, did you find out what happened to your pistol?
I did.
Yep.
It misfired, and it has the broken condition, but I have a move action. I spend a grit point to quick clear my gun, and then as a free action, I reload, and that's my turn.
Awesome. And that brings us to Dabwick, only 10 feet away from the 17-year-old Daria, now harassing Grip from behind. Can Dabs see? Yeah, Dabs has got eyeballs on the original Daria, right? Looks like it, yep.
Yeah, clear line of sight.
All right, what you can do?
Dab knows what's going on with this strange
ally from across time,
and eyeballs the original Daria and casts Snowball.
Supernaturally cold ball of frost and ice flies from Dabs' fist. Daria is going to use her snake style for the round on this attack. So you see Daria focus her attention on Dabs after getting blasted by the snowball last round. She's not going to let it happen again. And what's your attack roll with that ranged touch attack?
15.
She steps out of the way, watches the snowball fly past her. You got a move action left to you if there's anything else you want to do this turn.
Dabs is going to stay out of melee range for now.
And that brings us to Braden Vaticus. At the top of Braden's turn, you see dead Daria heal up, and her wounds open up on the ghost of Braden.
Of course they do.
Grip is the closest to this. Then you see the form of Braden shimmer in the air, almost like a digital glitch, like, and where he had seemed to think a moment earlier he was back in the chapel trying to save Dora's life. You see him standing at full attention with the morning star drawn. He looks over desperately at Grip and says, "I'll cast protection from evil in a second." And then looks over at Roni. He flickers again. "Wait, do I still hate you?"
Do I still hate you?
Flickers again. He's staring in absolute confusion and fear at Victor. Turns back to Grip. "You got this, Grip." And he closes with you. He takes one step forward.
I hate it.
And he attempts to enter your body.
What?
Give me a will save.
Oh, no. 23. I don't think I can do much better than that.
He attempts to merge with your body, but through the sheer force of will, Grip is able to keep him out. For a brief second, though, your brains merge and you are aware of this absolute disjointed sense of he is seeing multiple realities, multiple time frames. He is continuously reliving moments of heightened emotion from his life. He attempted to take control of your body, you could tell in his confusion, but he failed. Whew. That brings us to the top of round 3. Grip, you are up. You now have a Daria behind you threatening you, a Braden in front of you threatening you, and the original Daria, the original dead Daria, a good 15 feet away from you, deeper into the room.
So far, original dead Daria, he has healed all damage taken, would you say?
You would not assess it that way, no. She's pretty frostbitten, mangled, gunshot. She's got black ichor streaming out of her face.
And so far, ally across time, Daria.
Yes.
Corporeal is real, yes?
Yeah, she is real.
It's not taken any damage yet.
Correct.
Has hands and so forth.
Has hands, is holding a short sword.
Person. Okay.
Yes.
But we know it has limitations.
All it can do is flank.
And aid.
Flank and aid.
Does not attack on its own. Is that what?
That is what Victor indicated.
That's what we've...
That's
All
what
right.
we believe.
All right, then Grip's going to take a 5-foot step to the northeast.
Past Braden, yep. To close with Daria.
He's having a hard time not looking at Braden.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I mean, I think that's it. I feel like, well, he'd say something, but no, he doesn't. He's beyond. It's beyond, like, seeing that sight again of that action of him taking on someone else's wounds.
Yeah.
All he's going to do is swing at this thing. Full unarmed attack on the Vitala. So the first one is a 14.
She dodges out of the way of that. These are fists, right?
Correct.
All right, yeah, so she ducks under a nice roundhouse there.
Second is a 22.
That's a hit. You connect with her as she's coming back up with a shit-eating grin on her face.
10 points of damage.
She is unharmed.
Right, because that's the minimum. Is that really? That's all I fucking got? Yeah. And then third attack.
Here it comes.
Third flurry attack. Boom. That's a 24.
Excellent. You connect with her.
And come on, give me it. Do it. Do it.
Come on, Ripper.
That is 15 points of damage.
All right, she does indeed take some of that.
And that's my turn. Did Grip get any sense of, I guess, intent with that attempted possession?
Mostly confusion. He barely understands where he is or what's happening. He's probably, and you can all probably tell this to a certain extent the way his gaze is moving around this room. He will look at you in one split second and clearly see a companion, and then turn his head, and someone who was just a companion is now the enemy in some scenario who he is now facing off with. It's not clear that he has much understanding of what's really happening here, other than his sister is being threatened, and he's not going to let her die again.
Copy that. Thank you.
Daria takes a 5-foot step away from you, spits out a couple of teeth from that last punch, Grip. She points a finger at you. She says, "Constable, you stop!" Give me a will save.
No.
I don't know how many of these I got in me.
I know. I'm going to keep trying.
18.
Oh, wow. You fight it off. You feel this overwhelming compulsion to obey this tiny little dead child. Yes. And you shiver your way out of that sensation. Let's see. The 17-year-old Daria, now in the antechamber, 10 feet away from Victor, 10 feet away from Dabwick, looks between them down the hall to Dora. Mom, what's going on? Mom, why are you hurting me?
I don't know if you're going to make me do a bluff check, but Dora says,
Bring it.
That's not you, love.
Oh, pretending to be Tima. Oh my god. Yeah, I need a bluff check for that because you got to show the rage and anger on the face effectively. I don't know if that's where Dora lives.
it's a 9.
Did they hurt you? Are they making you do this? Victor, you're up. You're watching this exchange happen.
Oh.
It is quite painful for those of you that are inclined to view this person sympathetically. She genuinely seems to have an entirely different relationship with this person.
Yeah.
Obviously, she comes from an entirely different reality.
Right.
To call her mom.
Because, I mean, I wasn't lying.
Yeah.
That isn't her. Just looks like
Okay.
Okay.
Victor reaches into the handy haversack as a move action and pulls out a bone-handled dagger.
Ooh.
The dagger that killed Ray.
Uh-huh.
boy.
Ray! Ray, look at me!
The ghost spins its head and stares into your eyes.
Ray, you're dead. You're dead, Ray.
He flickers.
He holds the knife out, hilt first.
You died and we couldn't save you.
This is vanity. It's vanity. This is vanity. There are bigger things than your guilty conscience to deal with right now.
You're right. You're right, Ray. I'm sorry I didn't tell you. I'm sorry I failed you. Your sister is gone. You were a child. It wasn't your fault. You're dead. It's time to let go.
You did this. Your sins brought this down on all of us. You opened the gates of hell. And now he starts batting his hand through the dagger that you're offering him, and his hand passes, of course, uselessly through it, but he keeps trying to touch it. He's reaching for it. He's very focused on it at the moment.
And I will also make
Yeah.
a religion check on what I know about ghosts.
Absolutely.
13.
I think you know what you know when we checked on ghosts last time regarding the one in the basement.
Yeah.
Obviously incorporeal, they all have their own special abilities. There is, as we know, there is something keeping the ghost here. Getting rid of them permanently sometimes may be as simple as burying them. It seems unlikely that it's as simple as that.
Might it be like killing their sister?
He thinks... It's pretty clear he thinks he's protecting his sister.
Right, so if the sister isn't here anymore, what's to protect?
I don't know. We'll find out what happens when you slaughter his sister again in front of him. But you have drawn his attention, and he's trying to puzzle out the mystery of this dagger and this emotional exchange that he barely seems to process. Dora, you are up. You're watching the ghost of Braden pass his hands through this dagger that Victor is trying to offer him. The 17-year-old girl is pleading with you to help her.
I'm going to ignore her.
The corpse of the other girl is in the other room, slowly being slaughtered. Things are going great.
I can see a little bit of Daria in the other room.
Yep.
I will use 2 more points from my Phoenix pool and cast Mind Thrust 2 again.
Dora edges forward, getting even closer to the 17-year-old Daria, catches the original one in her sight. I'll make a will save. 18.
That is a save, so she only takes 12 points of damage.
With a foul eruption of ichor, you see Daria Vaticus's head explode in a supernatural eruption of gore, and this little 4-year-old body just collapses to the floor like it's a puppet that's had the strings cut out. The ghost whips his head around. No! Dara! 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 Why? He's screaming bloody murder. The air in the room is getting progressively colder and colder, and now there is like brief gusts of wind raising shards of this shattered furniture, moving some of the old rotted out books on the bookshelves. The ghost is in absolute anguish. Dabwick, you are up.
Passing the hot potato to you.
Dabwick, you are very close to the 17-year-old Daria who could have been. She stands there, slack-jawed, watching herself die. She's weeping now.
And she's still there.
She remains. She was brought here against her will and hasn't been dismissed. She's forced to watch this scene.
I have no idea how to help her. Not as affected by the sound of Ray's anguish. Retargets this new undead creature and tries to throw a snowball at them.
You're going to hurl a snowball at the ghost of Braden.
Yeah.
All right, give me that attack roll. Supernatural snowball comes soaring through the air past 17-year-old Daria's cheek, right towards Braden, who's standing next to Grip. Subtract 4 for firing into melee here.
That's a 23.
The snowball strikes true, and only because it was created by magic actually makes like fleeting contact with the body of this ghost, and it'll deal half damage.
That's 21 points of cold damage, so half damage would be 10.
10 points of cold damage to the ghost of Braden Vaticus, which he does indeed seem to take. He whips his head around now. Now he's viewing all of you as enemies, and then he shimmers again. He looks down at the floor. He picks up from nowhere a little shadow lantern filled with birds, and he stares down at you and says, "Everybody dies. Everybody dies." He drops the invisible shadow lantern, just vanishes into nothingness. He tries to bat this dagger out of the way, and then in abject frustration, he takes a step forward and pushes his hand through the dagger and into Victor. Natural 1 on this touch attack. So I guess Victor sees it coming. Is this a dodge?
Oh, yeah. I mean, at this point, he's like, oh no.
Shit's going south.
He sees that moment when he goes from being cognizant of us as friends to not.
Yeah.
And also the paranoia is strong.
It's deep. Top of round 4. Grip, you are up. You're 5 feet away from the Braden, who is trying to shove his hands into Victor's body. And this is very clearly a different kind of attack than... doesn't seem to be trying to merge with him. He seems to be trying to like shove him or hurt him. It's a very aggressive kind of action here.
Yeah. Boy, I just don't know. he's God damn! Why is this so hard?
I know.
It's because it's an impossible. Literally, it's an impossible position.
Like you made us kill Jane. Are you really gonna make us kill Ray too?
And also, it doesn't do anything to kill him.
Right. It's I think he can't bring himself to do it. To attack. I think he might take a rear back, and he just can't, and he just lets it drop, and he just says, "Ray, I don't think you're supposed to be here anymore. What can we do for you?"
I'm friends with the constable.
I'm
gonna be fine.
I'm fine.
A shot glass appears in his hand, and he takes a shot, just like he was back in the stain on the day you all met Reese. Who's up next? Victor. You're right adjacent to him. Grip has drawn his attention.
Victor's deep in the throes of this paranoia. He doesn't trust it, but he doesn't have a way to stop it. He doesn't have a way to help it let go. His mind is racing. He remembers when they were being attacked by all of the ghouls. And he yells out,
Ray, you got to destroy the ghouls. You got to channel Ray. We need your help. You got to get rid of the ghouls. You got to explode them. Channel Ray, please.
Give me a bluff check.
that is a natural 20. That's a 26. And I'm going to spend a point of inspiration, because it doesn't normally get one. For 4 more points, that's a 30.
He whips back around to you. Morningstar's back in hand. Shot glass is gone. He spins back around into the main room of the Wailing House, and he's darting his head back and forth at enemies you do not see, and he starts swinging Horflame, and then he pulls himself into what you would recognize as the beginnings of the sort of like clenching he did before he would channel. Dory, you're up next.
Dora turns to the Daria that remains.
She's weeping.
Tell your brother he saved you. Tell him his job is done.
Dr. Vatic has killed my brother.
There are so many worlds, Daria. You have no idea. In this one, he killed you. You can forgive him. In a way that no one else can. You can save him.
Braden is right next to her, beginning to clench all the muscles in his body. His sister reaches over and makes contact with his shoulder. He spins back, and then he shimmers again, and we see him as a child. He reaches down to take Daria's hand almost unconsciously, and he starts walking into the Wailing House, past Grip, deeper and deeper into the darkness. He gets to the other side of the room there. Daria whispers something in his ear, and he sinks to his knees, and everything in the room that had been trembling, quivering, cold, freezing, feeling alive just drops out. And you're in a normal space, and this light that Braden was giving off, this radiance, this ghostly radiance, dims, and for a brief second there in the darkness, as this Daria from a different timeline fades out of view, it almost looks like Ray has taken a knee across the room. He's not glowing. He could almost be real. And he is sitting there on one knee, head in his hand. She's gone now.
I will approach him.
He raises his head. The first time you saw him in this house, you had this experience of he could barely manifest the detail of eyeballs. He's a little bit in that place right now. He's like closer to the ethereal plane than here. He seems like seeing him from a distance, he seems real. The closer you get, the less and less solid he begins to feel, until he's incredibly, You're transparent as you're next to him, and he stares up at you with blank eyes, just weeping.
Can you let go now?
Is this about me?
It's always been about you, my friend.
Oh. No. I think I understand. I think I understand a little better now. He stands up, looks you square in the face. I think what you would really benefit from is some sense of absolution.
Absolution.
Atonement. Who we were. The gods know I'm struggling with this too. And I know you are, Grip. Who we were has a bill. We have a bill. A red ledger. We've done stuff we know that we have. We don't know how or why. Whatever you've done, we have to believe this. You're different now. I can't help you find your way to making peace with this. You have to press on. There's no time for me. You're in the middle of a fight for your life, and you can't risk the vanity of my spiritual comfort. Don't risk everything for me. Please. Let me go. Let me go.
Dora looks down, nods, turns her back on Ray, and walks out of the Wailing House.
Grip.
Grip does the same thing, and as he passes Victor and Dabwick, he says, I'm gonna go get a fucking shovel. And he leaves.
Victor.
Victor drops the bone-handled knife and stamps on it, shattering it in half. And then he reaches into his alchemical reagents and stuff, finds something that he can pour out here to start a fire.
The whole house.
The whole fucking house.
Sure.
And once the fire gets started, he looks at Ray, nods, turns, and walks away.
Dabwick. You're seeing Grip going to get a shovel. You see that Victor is intending to light the house on fire. There is that body sitting there if you want to grab that. Follow Grip.
Yeah, that's what I'll do.
Grip and Dabwick give the body of Daria Vaticus, which had been doused in holy water, a burial outside of the Wailing House as it goes up in flames. That's the end of chapter 85. See you next time. Dark Nexus is a creation of Plug and Hum Productions. This podcast uses trademarks and/or copyrights owned by Paizo Incorporated, which are used under Paizo's community use policy. We are expressly prohibited from charging you to use or access this content. This podcast is not published, endorsed, or specifically approved by Paizo Inc. For more information about Paizo's community use policy, please visit paizo.com/communityuse. And for more information about Paizo and Paizo products, please visit paizo.com. That's Paizo.com. Dark Nexus uses music and soundscapes by Sirenscape. Check them out at sirenscape.com. That's SYRINSCAPE.com. Opening and closing themes, along with additional music, composed by Rob Kauzlaric. Artwork for Dark Nexus is by Matt Wahlquist. Special thanks to Toy, without whose generosity this project would not have been possible. And thanks to DMCP, Richard and Ari, Paul and Shannon, Chris, Scotty, Jason, Jess, Joe, Chelsea, Matt, Dave, Darren, and everyone we've gamed with over the years for all the memories and inspiration.